I'm wondering, I mean, for a debut album, you've done spectacularly well. And I'm wondering what kind of expectations you had for your first record.
I think, you know, it's like when you go in to do the first record, you're always nervous about it. You never know what it's going to do. So when we went in with the idea of trying to make it successful. That's all you can do, you know what I'm saying? And be determined at making it successful. So we've been on tour since last May when the album came out. And it's kind of like going into a boxing fight, you know what I'm saying? When you go in, you train for a fight, you train to win, but when they pull up your hand at the end and say you won, you're still surprised.
I understand that you're rehearsing every day, and your show changes to a certain extent every night. How much can it change?
You don't rehearse every day, you play every day, you know, and you do, you know, interviews like this, and
it's a new challenge every night.
Yeah.
You go out on stage, you know, you got to consider, you know, you can never, I mean, right now, if Poison's selling anything, we're definitely selling excitement, you know what I mean? And you got to go out there and be excited about what you're doing first before the crowd's going to react to what you're doing. And I think that us going out on stage and changing the show a little bit keeps it from getting monotonous. You know, we've been playing the same albums, we only have one. We've been playing the same songs off the one album. And, you know, when you go out and you play those songs every night, you got to change them around. You got to add different things. And each night's a different crowd. So you never act the same. Like, we never get bored because you go on stage, it's a different crowd. The crowd reacts great because we're coming out excited.
I was talking to Blackie Lawless from Wasp, and he was trying to relate about how he presented his show. He said it was kind of like being a circus performer. But I read that you people say yours is like a Broadway music spectacular, only at ice hockey level.
Yeah. It's easy for that because it's like, when you look at it, it's like Poison takes everything at 110%. You know what I'm saying? When you go out and give the show, give the image, the music, and definitely your personality, you got to do it big, because if you do it calm and you do it small, people aren't going to recognize it. I mean, you're playing in a big place. Ice hockey arenas is where we play a lot, and that's where the ice hockey level comes in. It's like taking a Broadway production and putting it in ice hockey. You know what I'm saying? An ice hockey rink, and it just goes over great. People can relate to it a lot more that way. It's just...
It's even, when you're a star in rock and roll, it's still a blue-collar kind of star. You know, you're never that reigning king, you know what I mean, really. It's always very, there's always a little bit of dirt in there somewhere.
Who do you think your audience is? I mean, who are the people out there?
Mom, Dad, you know, sisters, cousins.
Yeah, but they don't buy over $1 million
albums. You know
albums.
what, Poison, that's a great question, because
my dad
Poison is, you know, Poison's one of those bands that now that we're going out and playing to audiences, we're breaking down a big barrier in rock and roll. Poison, like Ricky was saying, is we're a kick-ass rock and roll band, you know what I mean? And when you go out on stage and do that, you've got to go out, you're going to break down barriers before there was sort of a thrash scene, and then there was a pop scene, and we're going right up the middle of that, playing rock and roll that has something for everyone.